In less than a month, Affordable Care Act subsidies are set to expire for millions of Americans, including thousands of people here in the Northwest. We spoke to Mac Reed, who lives in Portland and uses tax credits to help pay for medication. She's one of about 100,000 Oregonians who receive subsidies through the Affordable Care Act, which provide federal assistance to help cover insurance costs. Mac has type 1 diabetes and uses that support to help pay for her insulin.
You know what's going to happen is, like, I'm going to go bankrupt. And then my mom's gonna go bankrupt, and then I'm gonna die. Like, that's basically that's the sequence of events if I can't afford insurance.
Now, Democrats want to extend the subsidies, and Republicans promised to vote on this issue this month. Our Blair Best talked with Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley, who says Congress will vote next week.
How confident are you that Democrats have the votes to pass that legislation?
Well, it takes 60 votes. I'm confident every Democrat will vote for it. But that's just 47. So we need 13 more Republicans to join us to be able to close debate and pass this bill.
By Oregon's other senator, of course, Ron Wyden, to talk more about this. Senator Wyden, do you think that we can get, or that Democrats can get those 13 votes?
We're pushing very hard. And our big argument is there is only one timely step that you can take to help people, because you can't set up anything brand new. And the witnesses that I brought from Oregon to the Finance Committee, where I'm the senior Democrat, they had their premiums go up 500%. The only way you're going to get help to them is through the clean tax credits.
Are you having any conversations across the aisle right now with Republicans on this?
Yes, and a lot of them were home over Thanksgiving. They were sitting around the living room and the like, and they said, we know that people are going to get clobbered with these premiums. And I said, you know what you have to do? There's only one step that will actually be timely to help people.
Are you confident that that will pass, or?
We're pulling out all the stops, I'll tell you that.
Okay. There's also concern about another potential government shutdown. Of course, we just got out of the longest one in history. What do you see as a path forward to avoiding one come January?
Working together, working in a bipartisan way. That's what I've always done. And there are Republicans that will do that. For example, Mike Crapo is joining me in holding down prescription drug bills by reining in these pharmacy benefit managers. We need more of that.
I want to talk today about an advisory panel that voted against recommending hepatitis B vaccines for newborns. You called it a kangaroo court and said that children would die unnecessarily. If the CDC adopts this recommendation, what do you feel that Oregon should do next?
What we should do is continue to take care of kids. I just think this Kennedy recommendation is horrible science. It invites junk theory, and I called it a kangaroo court because I've never seen anything quite like it. It is all about being anti-vax.
Is there any word about the West Coast Health Alliance getting involved in something like this?
I'm very supportive of this concept. I mean, clearly you need to find a way for Oregon kids and families to get access to good science. That's one way to do it.
You've been in touch with the Coast Guard in Newport about the helicopter that recently returned to Newport. It sounds like it is back, at least for now, but there are ongoing lawsuits that are happening right now to keep it there. What happens next right now with that?
What happens next is we do a lot of watchdogging. In other words, Senator Merkley and I were pleased with what we heard on Thursday, but we're going to have to watch this every single step. And we also have to make sure that there's no detention facility, because that would really be bad for the economy. They're all about fishing and tourism. A detention center would really damage that.
Have you heard any updates about that recently?
What I've heard is, because I had a town hall meeting, 500 people came out on short notice, and we got a sense of how strongly folks felt, and we're just going to continue to watch this very, very carefully, both in terms of a detention facility, which I think would be a big mistake, and anybody who might try to take the helicopter.
You also sponsored a bill earlier this year that would tell the Treasury Department to turn over bank records of Jeffrey Epstein. We spoke about this on Straight Talk, I remember. So this has actually gotten the support of survivors of Epstein. But for people watching at home, why is the transparency around bank records important?
Because if you're really going to root out corruption, you've got to follow the money. In other words, Al Capone wasn't caught by some regulation, he was caught by taxes. And the reality is Jeffrey Epstein was really a poor guy. He just was a substitute school teacher, and all of a sudden he became almost a billionaire. And we've got to run down where that money came from, how it enabled the sex trafficking. That's what I'm going to do. It's not a blue issue. It's not a red issue. I'm determined to make sure that something like this never happens again in America.
Oregon Senator Ron Wyden, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Always appreciate your time.